48-year-old mother of two who's always had hip problems.
I had childhood dysplasia in my hip. In my 20s, I was skiing and I fell.
And surgery to repair cartilage
Arthritis
only gave her short-term relief.
I couldn't really walk my natural hip. I just decided it was time to take the next step and have a hip replacement.
A former healthcare consultant, Allison really researched her options and chose the DePuy ASR hip system, only out since 2003 and co-developed by then Duke surgeon Thomas Vail. ASR's chromium and cobalt metals promise to make it more durable than previous implants.
Where's a real problem for hip replacement? It's probably what causes the majority of failures over time.
Dr. Michael Bolognese
You'll see now
is the director of surgery at the Duke Orthopedic Department.
And there's a socket.
He scrubbed in with Dr. Vail on more than 200 ASR implants.
Traditional hip replacement will have a metal ball and a plastic liner. Our hope would be that with those younger patients, these hard-on-hard bearings might give them an advantage from a standpoint of wear.
And that's exactly how the ASR system has been marketed worldwide for active younger patients like Allison.
I sent emails to my surgeon saying, I thank you so much for, taking my pain away and giving me this opportunity to get on a bike with my kids.
But 5 months after the operation, Allison says her pain was back.
It was incredibly painful.
Allison is not the only person who complained about pain from her DePuy ASR hip implant device. DePuy says 93,000 people had these metal-on-metal devices surgically implanted. Medical registries around the world say hundreds of people have complained their metal devices did not work. Among the complaints, the system fails and has to be re-implanted. The National Joint Registry of England and Wales showed that within 5 years of surgery, both implants failed 12% of the time. That means 12,000 patients may need more implant surgeries. Some doctors are also concerned about the possibility of particles from the implants getting released into the bloodstream. That could potentially cause deafness, dementia, and heart failure.
It's incredibly concerning.
Now, DePuy is recommending patients have a blood test to check for high levels of chromium and cobalt, even as they and Johnson & Johnson face a class action lawsuit filed earlier this year. The suit claims the company continued to aggressively market the devices for the past 2 years, even though the FDA received hundreds of complaints about their high failure rate. The I-Team wanted to find out if the failure rate showed up before DePuy put the devices on the market. After digging through government files, we found this document. It shows the FDA cleared the devices to proceed to the market without any clinical testing. The company used a little-known regulation that allows a medical device to be approved if it's similar to another device that's already been tested. Attorney Matt Davis represents Allison Polito and more than 60 other patients with failed implants.
The failure rate keeps climbing year after year after year. It's going to continue to climb, and perhaps pretty dramatically.
The resurfacing here.
Allison is among those who needed a second operation to replace the DePuy hip device.
When he took the hip out, there was a lot of inflammation in there, just lots of swelling and tissue damage, and he thought I would do really well with the revision.
But she didn't do well because of the inflammation and needed a third operation, costing her thousands of dollars and so much more.
It just affects your life in every way. I've lost so many opportunities with my children and with my husband.
Just last week, lawyers representing implant patients met in Durham to talk about their cases.
I'm pretty convinced that a number of people who have this device are going to end up in wheelchairs for the rest of their lives because the destructive process went too far.
And in August of this year, DePuy issued a recall of its ASR hip implant systems.
I'm angry, and I feel like this shouldn't happen in the United States. We have regulations. Patients are consumers. We rely on our doctors. We rely on the products that they use.
Allison is feeling better now, but is nervous when she thinks about her future.
I can't ask the question. I think it's terrifying to think about. If this one doesn't work, I can't let my mind go there because you can just end up in a wheelchair.